So the video today is going to look at a section from a sports psychology module, which is aggression in sport. So first I'm just going to look at the spec and what you need to know. So if you look at the content, as you can see on the on the left hand side, you can see just here that you need to know the difference between direct and indirect aggression and be able to provide sporting examples, and it more or less says the same on the right hand side. There's one thing I will add on to there, what I've seen on exam questions, is you need to know or be able to understand how the two types of aggression can aid and help performance. Okay, again, moving on, if you just look at the left hand side here, the two pictures, we've got two examples of fighting. I just want to draw your attention, but the boxers on the left hand side are examples of direct aggression, and the fighting on the right hand side is not applicable to the course. Please, in an exam question, do not refer to fighting on a football game, fans fighting, someone kicking a water bottle, someone kicking their sports bag, arguing the referee, pushing a player. That is obviously aggression. That's hostile aggression. It's not linked to the GC spec. Okay, so moving on to direct aggression. I'd just like to... no. Okay, so moving on, we're now going to look at direct aggression firstly, and just looking at the an example. So using assertive action upon an opponent within the laws of the game in order to gain an advantage. So as I've shown here, we've got the boxer striking the opponent to gain an advantage. So either picking up points if it was amateur boxing, as the GCSE spec. So if you put boxing in your exam, then striking an opponent will gain you points. Or additionally to that, you could say strike an opponent to knock the opponent out, obviously to aid the performance by knocking the opponent out. Other examples you could use within this type of aggression is a rugby tackle, where you tackle the opponent. And again, in your exam question, a good kind of tip would be to say to gain advantage by dislodging the ball, so a tackle where the opponent drops the ball, or striking the opponent in the tackle where the ball is dislodged through impact. Or in football, a fair tackle, a 50-50 tackle where you are assertive and direct aggression is shown in order to win possession of the ball. So we'll now look at an example of direct aggression in boxing. Some pretty brutal knockouts there. Now it's also important to understand that why or how can the direct aggression improve performance? Well, in a boxing situation, it can slow the opponent down in terms of slow their momentum coming forward. It can open up their guard in terms of making it easier for them to hit, or inevitably it can you can knock them out by a single punch or a combination of punches, all aiding to forms in either slowing them down or actually win the fight by knockout. But it's also important to remember that on GCSE spec it's amateur boxing, so when you are talking about boxing, every time you strike the opponent in a scoring area, you gain points. So how can the aggression improve performance? Well, it's improving performance by collecting points, which will beat the opponent by scoring more points than them. Okay, so the second type of aggression is indirect aggression. That is where it's where you use assertive action against an object, such as shuttlecock in badminton, in order to gain advantage over somebody. So for example, the picture here is a footballer striking the ball. Okay, you can strike the ball with aggression, indirect aggression, to gain an advantage over the opponent. For example, in a penalty, striking the ball with extreme force to prevent the goalkeeper from scoring. That would be an example of indirect aggression. Other examples would be shuttlecock being a smash shot in badminton, an ace in tennis. Okay, or other examples could include a cricket bowler bowling the ball with extreme pace to intimidate the batsman, or to bowl the ball in an area what's uncomfortable for the batsman, i.e. a bouncer, and make it very difficult for them to score on it. Again, how does that aid performance? Well, it makes it challenging for the opposition to return the shot or complete what they are wanting to do. In a cricket case, how it improves performance by bowling a bouncer? Well, it'll make it very difficult to play the shot, which could result in the player playing a missed calculated shot, which means they get out. Okay, so we're now going to look at another video, which is an example of tennis. Okay, so an example of indirect aggression, Roger Federer performing a series of aces. So again, striking a tennis ball with extreme force to gain the advantage by making it difficult for the opponent to return the shot. Okay, so you're now going to look at some questions along with some answers in terms of from the mark scheme. So what I'd like to do now is pause the video, have a look at the questions and have a go at bringing together how you would answer the question. So I'd also like to draw in your attention as well, explain the difference between direct aggression and indirect aggression in physical activity. Okay, so again, please bear in mind it's for 2 marks. Okay, so obviously it's wanting you to know the difference between the two. Then the bottom one, describe how direct aggression may be used to improve performance. Again, that word there, improve performance, is for 2 marks. Okay, so similar like you've just done, describe how indirect aggression may be used to improve performance. Use an example in your answer. And again, use an example. Make sure you use an example which you've seen on the video. Again, I just want to draw your attention here. So, how can indirect aggression be used to improve performance? Bowl the ball in cricket as a bouncer to intimidate the batsman, make it difficult for the batsman to play a shot, or in badminton, smashing the shuttlecock hard to get to the floor quicker to win the point. That is the application, that's the justification which allows you to gain them marks. Remember, accept any other suitable example how indirect aggression may be used to improve performance. Answers must directly relate to indirect aggression to improve performance. That word again, performance. So how are the 2 aggressions improving performance? Hope you found this video useful. Thank you very much.